So as you may or may not know, GGG is going to be changing some early game leveling stuff. They're changing a bunch of the ways that abilities work, and they're changing the scaling on some of them. They're also removing onslaught support or replacing it with momentum support, which doesn't look so great. However, this brings up an interesting conundrum. So now that onslaught support is gone, what do we do? Onslaught still exists, and you probably want onslaught in general on most of your builds, right? Well, if it turns out that if you are on the bottom portion of the tree, maybe you're leveling a duelist because you hate yourself, there is this node that if you really hate yourself, you've got Dance of Blades. You have onslaught if you've changed stance recently. Now, this will only work if you're in this portion of the tree for having onslaught essentially all the time, because what you're going to do here is you're just going to put your stance on your left click, and you'll have always changed your stance recently just by walking around. So you'll easily have 20% attack, cast, and movement speed pretty much constantly. Now, this in and of itself isn't that big of a deal because you're spending 4 points and whatever travel nodes to be able to get here. So if you're wanting that onslaught, then go ahead. I mean, there's also things like Graceful Assault, which gives you a chance to gain onslaught on kill, and other things like Freedom of Movement, which we all knew about previously. However, that's not the only thing that you gain from doing this. If you go to pretty much any attack master, you'll notice this new line here that says gain adrenaline for 1 second when you change stance. Now, the thing about it is that there are attack masteries all over. Let me see if I can check this. No, it's not going to let me. But anyways, so there are attack masteries all over the place. Basically, anywhere where there's attacks, they've put some attack masteries. There's even one all the way up here on the right on the new multi-shot node, this attack mastery right here. So gain adrenaline for 1 second when you change stance. So I would say that if you are leveling and you are anywhere near an attack mastery, it is pretty much guaranteed that just grabbing Blood and Sand and putting that ability on your left click is going to be worth it if you can take an attack mastery. Because if you don't know what adrenaline does, adrenaline is pretty broken. Adrenaline is going to give you 100% increased damage, 25% increased attack speed, cast speed, movement speed, and 10% additional physical damage reduction. So if you look at the skill Blood and Sand here, Blood and Sand is a pretty standard ability for a lot of melee classes. It just has more AoE or less AoE and more damage depending on what you're trying to do, and it has a cooldown time of 2 seconds at max rank. So if you get some recovery on this, if you get a little bit of increased cooldown recovery rate, maybe you could get that through some support gems or something like that. Or if you are, you know, playing the new Sabo, something along that lines, it's pretty easy to have like 50 to 75% uptime on adrenaline just by left clicking and spending 10% of your mana or your life if you want to reserve your life instead. So I honestly am not a huge fan of the fact that this is probably going to be the new way that people min-max their movement speed early on. And the thing about it is a lot of people, when it comes to this talk about the new leveling tech and ways that people do, you know, go fast through the campaign and such, is that it always trickles downward. The thing about it is that you can say that, oh yeah, I just won't use it, but eventually you're going to be like, well, this campaign's taking me 10 hours. I kind of would like to shave an hour off of that time. I might as well start using this degenerate leveling tech. And you start layering it in, you start adding all kinds of different things that just make the process a little bit more annoying step by step. And as it kind of disseminates into the community and more people use it, maybe eventually it'll get removed. But honestly, I just kind of miss onslaught support. I don't really like the idea of having to put on a stance and dance constantly to be able to have this movement speed going on, as well as the idea that I'm going to be having like uptime on adrenaline, which is really cool. Adrenaline's a very powerful mechanic. It's one of the main reasons that low life champion is even like a good thing, is just because of this gain adrenaline for 20 seconds mechanic. Get ready if you want to be as fast as you can in the bottom portion of the tree. Dance of Blades is looking like it's going to be one of your options. And beyond that, if you are literally near an attack mastery anywhere on the tree, get ready to reserve 10% of your mana so that you can have adrenaline up basically about half the time. And that is going to be it for the video. I'm not super excited about this leveling tech, but at least we'll have something, right? So remember, boys, if you enjoyed this content, make sure to give this video a like, subscribe to YouTube channel, hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest videos, and stay safe out there in Ray class, and I'll see you guys in the next video.